It started with a single tweet. At 6:42 a.m., Elon Musk posted, "Nancy Pelosi represents everything that's broken in Washington. Corruption. Control. Deception. Enough is enough." By noon, the post had gone viral, not just trending, but dominating every news cycle across the U.S. What followed wasn't just a Twitter storm, it was the opening shot in a political war Musk had been planning for months. Pelosi's camp quickly dismissed it as another billionaire tantrum, but insiders knew something was different this time. Musk had dirt. And he was ready to burn bridges. By 4 p.m., he released the file, a 37-page dossier Musk's legal team had compiled over the course of a year, revealing alleged insider deals, questionable overseas financial interests, and even secret recordings from private DC fundraisers. It was explosive. Fox, CNN, MSNBC, even 60 Minutes scrambled to verify the contents. But before anyone could digest it fully, Musk dropped a second tweet, "This is just the beginning. I warned them. Now I'm following through." And just like that, Washington was no longer in control. By nightfall, Nancy Pelosi's office was in full crisis mode. Behind closed doors on Capitol Hill, aides scrambled to draft statements, contacting longtime media allies and strategists. Pelosi herself, known for her composure, was visibly shaken. "This is coordinated slander," she snapped at her team, pacing the office. "We need to bury it fast. Get legal on the line." But legal couldn't help. The documents Musk released were real, court-sealed records, donor logs, even redacted communications subpoenaed during previous investigations but never made public. Somehow, he'd gotten them. The question on everyone's mind was the same: how? Meanwhile, Musk went live on X Spaces that evening, drawing over 11 million listeners in under 30 minutes. "This isn't about left or right," he said calmly, his voice steady. "This is about removing the rot that's poisoned American democracy. Pelosi just happens to be the symbol of it." He promised more evidence would drop over the coming days, and hinted at whistleblowers who would testify. "People are ready to speak," Musk said. "They were silenced for too long." As the space ended, Pelosi resigned and Musk files were trending worldwide. The pressure was no longer political, it was cultural. The walls were closing in. Wednesday morning hit DC like a freight train. An anonymous account, later confirmed to be managed by Musk's team, posted a cryptic message: "Today, we let them speak." 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, #Whistleblower Wednesday, at noon sharp, a live stream began on X, slick, cinematic, and backed by damning substance. 3 former Pelosi aides appeared, faces blurred, voices altered, but credentials verified by third-party journalists watching in real time. One after another, they told stories of undisclosed foreign lobbying deals run through Pelosi's inner circle, pay-to-play schemes involving massive California donors, backdoor favors exchanged for tech regulation exemptions, a bombshell given Pelosi's past statements against Silicon Valley, and then, the kicker. One aide, codenamed Orion, played a redacted audio clip of a closed-door meeting where Pelosi allegedly said, "We don't regulate them, we leverage them. Musk thinks he's untouchable. Let him come for me. He won't survive it." The comment, meant as a veiled threat, backfired. The public didn't hear a confident politician. They heard someone who'd gotten too comfortable with power. Musk quote-tweeted the clip with just 4 words, "Game on, Madam Speaker." By evening, 2 congressional investigations were announced. And insiders hinted that Pelosi's longtime political donors were pulling back, fast. Thursday morning, Politico dropped a headline that made Pelosi's inner circle panic: "Major donors cut ties with Pelosi, funding freeze imminent." According to sources close to the Democratic fundraising machine, 3 of Pelosi's largest PAC contributors had privately withdrawn their financial commitments. One Silicon Valley firm reportedly issued a terse statement: "We do not support unethical leadership, regardless of party." Behind the scenes, her political network was unraveling. High-profile Democratic strategists began to distance themselves. One longtime ally, who spoke anonymously to The Hill, said, "The Pelosi era might be over. People are scared Musk knows more." Meanwhile, Musk was just getting started. He posted a spreadsheet of campaign contributions cross-referenced with suspicious contract approvals, and tagged the Department of Justice with a single question: "Still investigating? Or should I do your job too?" The DOJ released a cautious statement saying they were reviewing new material. But it was clear the pressure wasn't coming from inside the government anymore. It was Musk setting the pace, and Washington was scrambling to keep up. The final blow that day came when two House Democrats publicly called for Pelosi to consider stepping down for the good of the party. For the first time in decades, Pelosi was no longer untouchable. By Friday, the whispers turned into open rebellion. A confidential memo leaked from within the Democratic leadership. Its title, "Contingency Plans for Post-Pelosi Transition," it was real, and it hit like a bomb. CNN confirmed the memo's authenticity, revealing that key members of the House Democratic caucus had already begun privately vetting successors. Names were being floated. Meetings were being held. And the unspoken truth was now public: Pelosi's grip was slipping. Elon Musk wasted no time. He posted a screenshot of the memo with the caption, "She held the gavel. Now she's holding on by a thread." Pelosi, attempting damage control, held a last-minute press conference. Flanked by a thinning group of loyalists, she delivered a defiant message: "I will not be bullied out of public service by a tech billionaire with a vendetta." But even the press didn't buy it. The questions were relentless. Do you deny the whistleblower claims? How did Elon Musk obtain classified donor information? Are you negotiating a resignation behind closed doors? She dodged, deflected, and ended the conference early. By evening, MSNBC's primetime panel openly debated whether she'd survive the month. And in a final, brutal blow that night, Musk announced an upcoming exclusive interview, featuring a former foreign diplomat who allegedly worked with Pelosi's team on covert funding deals abroad. The teaser clip ended with the diplomat saying, "She thought no one would ever find out. But now, we're all talking." Saturday night, millions tuned in. Elon Musk's platform, bolstered by his X streaming service, aired the exclusive interview that had DC holding its breath. The man on screen identified himself as Eric Johansson, a former Scandinavian trade diplomat with first-hand experience dealing with Pelosi's inner circle. Under oath, and with documentation in hand, Johansson claimed, Pelosi's office facilitated unofficial agreements with European energy interests in exchange for private donations. These agreements bypassed formal congressional channels, and directly benefited Pelosi-connected firms in California. He personally attended two off-the-record meetings in Brussels, where a Pelosi aide assured European officials, "Don't worry about U.S. oversight. Nancy takes care of her own." To prove it, Johansson handed over flight logs, emails, and a signed MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, never filed with the State Department. The fallout was immediate. International media picked up the story, and within hours, congressional Republicans, joined by a growing number of Democrats, called for a full bipartisan investigation into Pelosi's international dealings. Even the White House distanced itself. In a rare Saturday press release, a senior official stated, "We support transparency and accountability at all levels of government, no exceptions." By midnight, #PelosiLeaks was the #1 global trend. And Musk? He tweeted only 3 words: "She played dirty." Sunday morning brought silence from Pelosi's camp, a silence louder than any statement. Reporters camped outside her San Francisco residence. Her staff declined all media requests. No posts, no pressers, no spin. Meanwhile, Capitol Hill was on fire. 5 senior Democrats, including 2 who once fundraised directly for Pelosi, released a joint letter calling for a swift leadership transition to restore public trust. It was the political version of a no-confidence vote. Musk, relentless, capitalized on the momentum. He posted a new thread titled, "The Systematic Pelosi Playbook, How She Controlled D.C. for 20 Years, It included a timeline of legislation passed under her leadership, cross-referenced with lobbyist donations, leaked texts between her top aide and an unnamed pharmaceutical CEO discussing favorable bill language. A never-before-seen internal document titled, Red Lines, a guide her office allegedly used to blacklist journalists and donors who didn't fall in line every hour, another revelation. Dropped. Every minute, another ally bailed. By evening, a CNN special report aired with the blunt headline, The End of the Pelosi Dynasty. Inside sources said she hadn't spoken to the president in over 48 hours. Fundraisers were being cancelled. Poll numbers for Pelosi-affiliated candidates tanked overnight. And then, the final humiliation, the House Oversight Committee announced an emergency hearing, set for Monday morning, titled, Investigating Allegations of Corruption Against Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi. It was official. She was under investigation. And the tide had turned for good. Monday morning, the world watched. The House Oversight Committee chamber was packed, lawmakers, journalists, and furious staffers filled every seat. The mood was electric, tense, and utterly unprecedented. A former Speaker of the House was about to be questioned under oath. Nancy Pelosi entered flanked by legal counsel, eyes forward, jaw tight. Once hailed as the most powerful woman in American politics, she now looked cornered, not by her political enemies, but by a billionaire with receipts. The chair struck the gavel. This committee is now in session. Over the next 3 hours, the hearing exposed what many had only speculated. Emails. Bank transfers. Off-the-record meetings. Foreign entities. All roads pointed back to Pelosi's office. When asked about the Red Lines blacklist memo, she denied its existence. Musk, watching live, posted a PDF version with a simple caption, lying under oath. Gasps filled the room when committee staff confirmed its metadata, last edited by nfifofstaff_DC just months earlier. But the most damning moment came when Representative Hillman, a freshman Democrat, held up a whistleblower transcript. Ms. Pelosi, is it true that in 2021 you authorized the suppression of internal ethics complaints related to donor kickbacks? Pelosi paused. Her lawyer leaned in. Then, for the first time in her 36-year career, she pleaded the fifth. The room went dead silent. Outside, reporters exploded the news across every outlet. The Hill, Axios, Reuters, all ran with one variation of the same headline, Pelosi pleads the fifth, is this the end? And Musk? He posted one final word that day, checkmate. Tuesday morning, America woke up to whispers that no one could ignore, Pelosi may resign by the end of the week. The source? A senior staffer inside her own office, who had just submitted their resignation. Cable news ran with it immediately. By noon, every outlet from Fox News to NPR was running variations of the same chirrun, Pelosi on the brink. Behind the scenes, party leaders held emergency meetings. Donors were panicking. Local Democratic officials began quietly erasing Pelosi's name from upcoming campaign literature. For the first time, even her most loyal supporters were privately admitting, it's over. At a private luncheon, Senator Schumer reportedly told colleagues, we can't go down with her. Elon sunk the ship, we either jump or drown. Meanwhile, Musk wasn't done. He released a new video titled, This is what happens when power is left unchecked. In it, he laid out his motivation, not revenge, but a vision. It's never been about left or right. It's about holding those in power accountable, no matter how long they've ruled. The video ended with one last sting, a leaked phone call from Pelosi's top aide just days before the scandal broke. We underestimated him. He has everything. That night, Pelosi's office finally released a statement, short, vague, and telling. Speaker Emerita Pelosi is taking time to consider her options and remains committed to serving the people of California. The public wasn't buying it. Betting markets shifted. Political analysts braced. Her inner circle shrank. All that remained was the final blow. Wednesday, 9 a.m., the silence ended. A podium appeared outside Nancy Pelosi's San Francisco residence. Reporters rushed into position. Cameras went live across every major network. After 48 hours of radio silence, the world was ready. At 9:06 a.m., Pelosi stepped out. No entourage. No staff. No notes. She looked tired, but resolved. After deep reflection, and in the interest of preserving the integrity of the office I once held, I am resigning from Congress, effective immediately. Gasps echoed through the crowd. She didn't take questions. She didn't look back. She simply turned, walked back inside, and closed the door. Moments later, Elon Musk posted, "Accountability." At last. Social media exploded. #PelosiGone trended for 36 hours straight. The stock market ticked up as energy and tech sectors responded to the shift in regulatory expectations. Lawmakers scrambled to realign their alliances. And in a single week, the once untouchable titan of American politics, who ruled the House for decades, was dismantled not by an election, not by scandal alone, but by the strategic pressure campaign of one man.